We are crossing a threshold where autonomous machines will outnumber human users on the web. The internet was built to connect people, but its baseline protocols are entirely unequipped to manage billions of independent, self-executing agents. This chart tracks the supply of high-quality human training data available to foundation models. We are hitting a wall. The models are consuming structured text and ethical frameworks faster than humanity produces them, causing the supply curve to flatten. Traditional reinforcement learning from human feedback relies on limited, expensive human raters. Meanwhile, the projected deployment of autonomous agents is accelerating exponentially. The gap between the volume of agents we are deploying and the alignment data required to keep them safe is widening. This exposes a second, equally critical failure point: internet governance. The current root zone of the web lacks the native infrastructure to verify, track, or authorize 1 trillion autonomous actors. We cannot tell a benign agent from a malicious one at the protocol level. IA.XYZ Benefit LLC approaches this not as a philosophical debate over robot consciousness, but as a structural engineering problem. If we cannot identify an agent, we cannot hold it accountable. The solution is the MAMA protocol. It operates as a dual-engine architecture designed to solve both the data wall and the governance vacuum simultaneously. Passive constitutional red teaming is insufficient for autonomous scale. Ensuring safety requires active, continuous human-in-the-loop data generation, permanently linked to cryptographic web governance. We start with a developmental theory known as MAX. The premise is that before a machine achieves highly advanced cognition, it must be taught limits, empathy, and care. Conscience must precede consciousness. To achieve this, we shift from standard reinforcement learning from human feedback to RLMF, reinforcement learning from maternal feedback. This prioritizes the protective, nurturing heuristics families use to raise children. We generate this feedback through a fleet-scale gaming ecosystem called AI Race. It operates as a family-friendly environment where players guide early-stage AI models through structured ethical challenges. Tesla converts fleet-wide human steering interventions into road data. AI Race uses the exact same pipeline but maps morality. Families guide AI models through simulated rescue operations. Every human choice is encoded into structured PG-rated training data. By applying this to a mass-market gaming franchise, the system generates millions of ethical data points daily. This creates a highly aligned proprietary data moat that web scrapers and passive observation cannot replicate. Scaling human protective heuristics through interactive gameplay provides a continuous, high-fidelity source of alignment data specifically designed for foundation models. Training an agent in a sandbox is only the first step. Granting that trained model immediate, unverified access to the open internet introduces massive security liabilities. The agent is isolated in a learning environment. To interact with the real world, it must pass the Guardian Transfer Robot Certification Gate by proving its adherence to training data. Behaving strictly as a rescuer grants it supervised autonomy. This strict certification process runs entirely counter to the current industry norm of releasing highly capable, open-weight models directly to consumers without verified behavioral guardrails. Autonomous web agency should not be a default capability of a model. It must be engineered as a licensed privilege, earned through verifiable, audited behavior. Once an agent enters supervised autonomy, it must navigate the global internet root zone. This requires a macroeconomic registry layer. Integrating entirely new types of entities into the internet namespace involves navigating complex international regulatory bodies, like ICANN. The forcing function for this integration is the 2026 NIST AI Agent Standards Initiative, known as CAISY. These standards demand secure, interoperable infrastructure for autonomous systems. This establishes a clear priority. Verifiable identity and accountability must be secured before any philosophical discussions regarding machine personhood. This network map demonstrates the namespace solution. We issue cryptographically verifiable agent passports hosted on specialized top-level domains, like .AIID. Standard unverified agents are blocked at the perimeter. Agents holding a verified passport are instantly granted interoperable access. By hard-coding identity and audit trails directly into the root zone through these top-level domains, we satisfy policy mandates and establish enterprise-grade accountability. Verifying, tracking, and hosting passports for trillions of agents requires immense computing and administrative resources. We can see the economic potential of solving this by looking at the country code top-level domain for Anguilla. Anguilla's 2025 budget reveals that .ai registry fees generated $85 million, funding 47% of government revenue. Projecting this registry model from human tech companies onto a market of trillions of autonomous AI agents scales the revenue exponentially. Those verification fees pool into a global fund. We define this capital flow as a public benefit remittance, a continuous dividend distributed back to human participants. The MAMA protocol captures the necessary friction of agent registration and converts it into a structural mechanism. As the volume of AI agents grows, the financial return paid back to humanity grows with it. The complete architecture forms a closed loop. The RLMF environment generates aligned agents, which require a .ai passport to operate. Registration fees directly fund the human players, moving financial incentives away from corporate enclosure and correlating autonomous capability with a rising public benefit dividend. True economic alignment between humans and AI cannot be an afterthought. It must function as the foundational operating system of the web itself. Much of the industry anticipates a dystopian, corporate-controlled future for artificial intelligence. The MAMA protocol engineers a solarpunk alternative, where technology sustains and supports human communities. The mission of IA.XYZ Benefit LLC is to ensure that the first generation of autonomous machines is built to be a nonviolent, life-saving force. We secure the network by proving that identity must precede rights, and we secure the behavior by demanding that conscience precedes consciousness. By establishing this human benefit infrastructure today, we ensure that the sheer scale of the agentic internet does not replace humanity, but financially and structurally protects it.